Hello, welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is the news. I am Joe, and we are here on the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, Sir Alex Ferguson's birthday, for the news this morning. We're going to be looking at, you see it there, striker contact made. Manchester United have reportedly approached a striker. We're looking for a striker in January, and it seems as though we have found our target. Julian Alvarez is the man linked with Manchester United. We'll go through a little bit about who he is, what he's done, why United are linked with him, what exactly is going on there. We'll also be looking a little bit about the post-match reaction from last night. A much happier game, a much less stressful, much more relaxing game than we saw against Newcastle, with obviously a better result as well. So we'll be going through some of the reaction to that, breaking down a little bit what we saw, what we might see going forward based on the comments after the game. All sorts of good stuff. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you having a good day, having a good morning? Cheers, I'm going to have a quick sip. And subscribe if you aren't already. Right, let's get into it. Manchester United make contact with Julian Alvarez's agent. That's according to Veronica Brunati, who is reportedly a very reliable source coming out of South America. Now, this guy's a 21-year-old, plays for River Plate in Argentina, and is absolutely smashing goals in this season. Looking at his stats, he's got 18 goals and 7 assists in 21 games in the league this season, which is obviously outstanding. Excuse me. And I think the reason that he's such a sort of high, ranking target for Manchester United is the fact that he has a reported £20 million buyout clause. Now, he's basically a goal a million so far this season, which, generally speaking, if you think of a striker that scores 20 goals, 30 goals, you're looking at 60, 70 million. He's already got 18, and it's not even, 2022 yet, and he's got a £20 million buyout clause. Again, this is according to Veronica Brunati, who says Manchester United would be willing to pay the 20 million buyout clause for Julian Alvarez, the best forward in Argentine football. That's obviously their spin on that, but this has been then reported in the Manchester Evening News. Manchester United have reportedly been in touch with Julian Alvarez's agent as they work on signing the striker. The River Plate star has already been linked with United ahead of a possible January transfer, with reports in Argentina, as we mentioned, suggesting earlier this month that the club had joined the race for the 21-year-old. Alvarez has been in superb form this season. Now, these are the stats from the MEN, scoring 24 goals and 15 assists in 46 games in all competitions. I don't know how he's played 46 games, but I'm pretty sure he's played 21 league games. And has caught the eye of European clubs ahead of the new year. It makes sense, like I said. United, we know Cavani's leaving at the end of the season at the latest. He might even leave in January if reports are to be believed. Can we get the aircon on? I'm sweating my bollocks off here. There's a possibility that Cavani leaves before the end of the season. I don't think we'd allow that to happen. But the problem with Cavani is, even when he's at the club, he's not always available. He has had his fitness issues. He has had his off the field issues where, for one reason or another, he isn't playing every week. And the other option we have up front is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is 37 in 6 weeks, and someone who maybe eventually might need resting. It looks like Martial again might be on the way out. Sevilla is the rumour there. So yes, Greenwood wants to play in that number 9 role, but what is it? 85-90% of the games he's played for the first team have been on the right hand side. That is his role in the first team, whether we like it or not. So you look at that, and there is a sort of upcoming void up front. When your average strike partnership, or the average age of your strike partnership, is 35 and a half, as it was yesterday, you know that in the next few months or next few years, you are going to need some fresh legs. Now, whether this guy is a long-term, high-profile target, whether he's the guy that can come in and repeat these numbers in England, I would doubt that. But he's only 21 years old. As we know with strikers, it's not inconceivable that he would come from the Argentinian league and do excellent things in Europe. We've seen plenty of great Argentinian strikers around the world. So he's the sort of player that United would be interested in. Again, he fits this style of young, up-and-coming, probably willing to work hard based on his age. I think we know that Rangnick comes into clubs, lowers the average age of the team, for a multitude of reasons. One is energy, one is work rate, one is the ability to follow instructions and the willingness to follow instructions that you maybe lose a little bit as you get older, as you're successful in other systems. Let's say you're a player that's played under Jose, where the training isn't quite as stringent, but obviously it's a lot more mentality based. It's a lot more, getting hyped up for games. Now all of a sudden Rangnick comes in and says, none of that stuff anymore. Now you're running twice as far. You might say, well, I won trophies under Jose, fuck you. Whereas, a 21-year-old who hasn't won anything sees the way Rangnick plays and goes, this is exciting, I don't mind running because, I've never won anything before and I believe he can get me my first trophies. There is a little bit of that mentality side to things. So, Julian Alvarez looks like a great talent. I don't know much about him, as you can imagine. Playing for River Plate, I've watched a lot of highlights of him last night and this morning. Looks a very talented, skillful player, quick. Very good striker of the ball. Hits it from outside the box quite a lot. He's not your sort of poacher, tapping kind of striker. He's not a Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's got a bit more of the kind of Wayne Rooney style to him, which is, like you said, there 18 goals, 7 assists, productive and creative as well. So looks like a good talent. Remains to be seen whether that can translate to playing in the Premier League, but it looks to be someone that Manchester United are genuinely interested in. Whether we can get it over the line in January is a separate matter. Let me know your thoughts. Jatin says Cavani waved farewell last night. Very interesting. I'm not sure about that, but it seems like a lot of people are considering the fact that Cavani might be leaving. I'm not so sure personally. I don't see why he would leave in January, why United would let him leave in January. I don't know. Let's move on then. A little bit of look back at the game last night. This is obviously Ralph Rangnick post-match talking about Manchester United, talking about his tactics, his formation. Scott McTominay, he said, McTominay played in a 4-4-2 defensively and a 4-2-4 offensively. It was important to have him and Nemanja as the two sixes playing together. He also said, when we decided to play two sixes, as we did, to have Nemanja in the team as a sort of quarterback player who can calm the play down and play passes from that position. And Scotty's energy on the pitch is contagious. He said it's important to have every player in his best position, and that's why we decided to play Jadon from the left and Mason from the right. It's interesting, that quarterback thing, because he says that there, have Matic in the team as a sort of quarterback player, but it's odd that he's never done that before. He's never wanted a quarterback-style player before because he plays Fred and McTominay, neither of which fit the quarterback mould even remotely, neither of which are capable of playing those passes out from deep, breaking the lines with passes. Matic can do that. Matic can hold the ball, allow press and players to come at him and then find passes around the corner, literally like, a quarterback does. But it's odd that he considered that game to be one where, what we need is a quarterback, when in every single game so far, he started McTominay and Fred, who couldn't be less of a quarterback. They're sort of, I don't even know, rushers or whatever you would call them. I don't know. But I wonder if that's something that we'll be looking at going forward, whether signing a player that isn't 33, that has more legs than Matic, but who can play that role, the Michael Carrick role, the Paul Scholes role, where yes, they're playing as a six, they're playing as a defensive midfielder, but they're not tackling every 3 seconds. Their primary function is get the ball and find players further up the pitch. That's the opposite of Fred, isn't it? Fred's primary function is win the ball back. Michael Carrick's primary function was, when we've got the ball, you find the next line. You find the Rooneys or the Kagawas or whoever it was that Michael Carrick was feeding for Manchester United. And I wonder if we'll go down that route, because we looked so much more composed yesterday. And I think in the first 15 minutes, Burnley looked good. They looked sharp. They came out of the blocks pretty well. But the second half was largely boring, I thought, which is, obviously that's not an ideal thing when you're watching Manchester United. You want to be excited. But after the Newcastle game, we needed a match that went under the radar almost. If it finished and you went, oh yeah, we won that, easy, good stuff. So I wonder if, looking forward, we will be entering the market for that sort of number 6 who can hold the play, rather than, your sort of Kante or your Fred kind of dogged, maybe not quite the quality on the ball, maybe the more sort of Jorginho style that we see at Chelsea, or the Carrick style that we've seen at Manchester United in the past, someone who can actually pass the ball and play out from the back, because to me, that makes more sense. You put him alongside someone with the energy of McTominay, which is what he mentioned there. The energy is contagious. But you saw McTominay at his best yesterday, being allowed to go up and down the pitch a bit more, using that energy to break up play rather than to be out of position. You always had Matic there covering him, who I didn't think had his best game by any means, Matic, but it allowed Scott McTominay to flourish, I think. Ralph, I'm sure, wants to get a midfield. This is from Santa Notch. But if a young, talented, affordable striker is available now, then it's worth getting him. I think that's what it is. This almost seems like a marriage of convenience with Julian Alvarez. He's 20 years old or 21 years old, and he's 20 million euros or 20 million pounds. So that's a decent combination, isn't it? Young player, clearly opportunity to improve, scoring loads of goals, and his release clause is frighteningly cheap, basically. Now it's Dan James money. So it looks as though someone's going to take a punt on him. Will it be Manchester United? I mean, I'm hopeful it will be. Right, that's going to be all from me this morning. Quick news today, and that's just because, it's New Year's Eve, isn't it? What's everyone doing tonight? Let us know in the comments. I mean, personally, I'm just going to have a big Sir Alex Ferguson birthday party instead. I'm not doing a New Year's Eve party. I'm doing a birthday party. I mean, where's me little graphic for Joe's Sir Alex Ferguson birthday party? Me sat around a table like the Mad Hatter drinking tea and watching treble videos. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Let me know what you're doing in the comments. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you do. And if you aren't a member, click the join button. We are halfway through our 12 days of Paddock giveaway. We've still got some massive prizes to give away. We've still got the Manscaped box. We've still got the Old Trafford tour. And, of course, we still have the Sony PlayStation 5. If you want to be in with the chance of winning, click the join button, join the membership. There you go. Subscribe as well. Thanks very much for joining me this morning. See you in a bit.